Well, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's see more distressing shit.
I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Baldur. The second son of Odin, he was beautiful, good, and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
You knew it had to go somewhere bad. They're hinting at like, wow, look at this shiny golden god. In this game, this isn't a game about shiny golden gods. You knew it had to be indicative of something bad. Ah. I wonder if I can see where every level is from here. Because yeah, this one's also like, the one seemed to be on the island. This one is the one I can see from the island. That's the tree island we were on earlier. And this is, I think this is the building I saw in the distance. Hopefully after I complete my exploration of it, I can then explore an upside down version of it.
The bridge. You've come this far, but the bridge is broken.
There's no way you can fix it.
What do you do now, Senua?
Was this here? This appeared, didn't it?
Face. What is it?
What does it see?
Get closer.
You want to see what the mask sees.
Stay back. Don't touch it.
You're curious.
Yeah, I want to see the version of the world where that's actually there. Oh.
It's the same. It's another world. It's lighter.
It's nicer. I like it here.
And that's back to the worst one.
Let's stay here.
I like it here. Can we stay?
It's safe here. It's calm here.
It's light here.
So we have 2 worlds to switch between.
The bridge.
It's not broken.
It's fixed.
What happened?
The bridge is fixed.
Let's cross it.
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Baldur. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Baldur dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Baldur's mother makes everything in the world: fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness. Swear an oath not to harm her sons. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Baldur's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
What'd you do, Loki? Quite the thing to have all these boasts and claims to make this person unkillable, and then have that be the first god to die. There's a lot of stories in that mythology of a character that's made invulnerable, either in a defense or even out of fear of some prophecy of their death, and yet the one opening in their armor still happens. There's still there's always some exception that stops the invincible person from actually being invincible. A kryptonite. People are generally not wrong when they talk about how like superheroes are like modern mythology to an extent, and or at least it's the modern iteration of often countless legends told longer than not only we've been alive, but longer than our societies have lasted.
Dillion, there he is.
There he is.
What are you waiting for?
Quick, find a way.
Find him.
Go through.
Where is he?
Where's he gone?
We're in the wrong world.
He's not here.
She's in the wrong world.
He's not in this world.
He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
The dark.
The dark.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of color stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Baldur, striking at him with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel.
Oh, he's that guy.
But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Baldur's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Baldur's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
Yeah, it's that story. Now I'm remembering it. There's always the exception. And Loki's a prick. Although he's so inconsistently evil, he does just have the most random, bizarre mischief. But he's also the most spiteful little shit, often with very little prompting. But then he does chaotic, bizarre nonsense.
You can't go up there.
You can't go up
Not
there.
in this world.
Not in this world. You can't.
I need that symbol. With the prongs on the right. Here it's on the left.
He didn't believe that she was cursed.
He saved you when everyone else turned their backs.
And you won't open?
He was the only one that really loved her.
He did love her.
And that one's also chained. I think I have to open one of them from the inside, right? It's this one. Because switching back only makes sense once I've opened something. That makes it so I have access to new things in that state.
Senua.
He was kind to her. He didn't believe that she was cursed.
He saved you when everyone else turned their backs.
This bridge. It's not the same one that I walked already, right? Well, we're not taking that path. Hopefully some combination of things that I've opened up will be accessible. Because you're still closed? Yeah. But I've opened the other side now. No reason to look at you, right? No. It's the same in both worlds. It's weird because it looks like it goes nowhere. It seems to just go... Like, I've been to both sides of that door, so it's a little strange that I'm even trying to open it.
You broke it. You killed me. You couldn't see the darkness within you.
Well, that's not good. That was not in the way last time.
Your curse has claimed Dillion. Poor Dillion. He didn't know. He was kind.
Was I wrong to go back there? I thought that state change was what I needed.
Nobody will love her now. Can you remember what love feels like? Look what happens to the thing she loves. She destroys the thing she loves.
They always say that we are our own worst critic. God damn. That's not true for her.
She's alive at all.
So opening that shortcut doesn't even work. Oh. Right? On the boxes, yeah. That's when it becomes the right shape.
Remember Dillion? What do you remember? Do you remember the sound of his voice? Senua, you've got it. Why isn't he here? He's gone. He's in the dark world. He's gone to the dark world. You're in the wrong world.
But they still gave me the shortcut.
The dark world. Without you.
That must serve a purpose, right? I have it for a reason.
You have killed the things you love. You curse. You kill the things that are most precious to you. Do we deserve this?
She knows how to duck, but she can't get through there. Oh, right. The front door should open now. That's why I did all this. Because you can't access the inside of that building at all, otherwise.
Good to find her. There he is. Where are you taking us?
He's up there.
How do you get up there?
There's a way. There is a way up there.
Find the way.
She can do this. You're nearly there. She'll find the way. She is pure darkness.
This building has me a little nervous. It has me thinking of the ending of an absolutely remarkable thing. And that's not a great place to be thinking of.
The one thing you had that loved you. You squashed it and strangled you. The curse cannot be.
And there he goes again. Oh.
You're cursed.
Is this a battle arena? It looks like one.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Ballard. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Huth says, I cannot see where Ballard stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon. Loki replies, here is a wand. I will tell you where he stands. And Huth throws the mistletoe at Ballard. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Baldur is killed. And for this, Hood is slain.
He believed in you.
Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement. An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel and her past, and Dillian, her future.
Everything gets broken in the end.
Two realities
Because he believed
tearing
in
at
you.
her soul.
She's cruel to herself. Although everyone kind of is.
Why didn't she? You have no chance for love now.
Nobody will love you again.
Ever again.
You have no time for this. Speed up.
These runes mean nothing. It's all part of their game.
They've set you trials to distract you.
They've set you up, and now they're going to watch you fall.
What if these trials mean nothing?
I'm not sure if it's ever narratively framed that way, but I feel like it makes sense to frame Baldur's story almost like Icarus, of hubris. Just the way that he flaunts his invincibility, uses it to get attention, tests it continually.
He's there.
Loki's obviously the villain for orchestrating her death, and his death in a very explicitly linear way. Like, that's like, nope, this is exactly how you're gonna die, is via this plan. So he's obviously the villain. But it's just weird how if they're afraid of him dying, it's weird how thoroughly they tested and risked it by going so far in that direction.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Baldur. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea, and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Baldur's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Baldur's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
He saved you.
That's you.
You owe him.
For the story of the first death, there's sure a lot of deaths in it. Deaths that are seen as so much less significant than his.
Do you know? Was it worth it?
You're still alive and Dillian's dead.
He doesn't deserve to be dead. How does that make you feel?
I just think of, like, if you were bulletproof, fine, but would you really want to keep getting shot by bullets to test it every day? And then they keep doing bigger and bigger bullets and getting scarier and scarier with it. Like, eventually, if you're lucky, there's no line, but if there is a line, you don't want them to find it. There's no upside to that. And if there is a line, it's only a matter of time. If you're daring it to happen. Ah, the wall with the symbol on it doesn't exist in this time.
He led you astray.
You should have listened to your father when you had the chance.
Why didn't you listen to him?
This love has tortured you, and it tortures Dillian.
What if this is pointless?
What are you doing? Why did you think
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Baldur return home. All the gods are weeping, he says. Are they? Asks Hela. We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Baldur stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Baldur, weep him out of Hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they find in a cave. Baldur was never my friend, she says. Let Hel keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
Interesting that he felt the need to be Loki. Oh, I can't even see it in this era.
Curse cannot be.
I find it interesting that Loki felt the need to disguise himself.
Love is guiding her.
Is he framed as innocent and all that? Did he successfully convince them avoid accusation of being involved in any of it? If so, then that puts us in a weird place, because it means that these stories are stories where we're smarter than gods, because the gods never deduced his crimes. It's not in the story.
about wasting your time just to
Saw who she really was.
by minute by
He saw the
minute?
warrior.
What does she think she's doing? You're not special. She thinks she can
They mean nothing.
be special.
He was the waste of time.
It could all be a waste of her time.
The gods are just
There they are. I did genuinely forget where the doors were.
Messing with her
it wouldn't be.
be the first time.
Norse mythology is a good read. There's some really strange stories in there that stick with you. A lot of them involve gods just being assholes. There's a story where Odin... There's a story where Odin finds some squabbling farmers, and he presents to them the best scythe ever, basically, for them to do their jobs. And he's like, yeah, you want this? And he throws it up in the air, and they all scramble to catch it, and it somehow slices all of their throats, and all three of them die. And I think it's supposed to be some kind of bungled narrative about how, like, it's bad to be greedy or whatnot, but like in that story it's just a bunch of farmers trying to survive. Like, farming is how you make food, it's their livelihood and their survival, and Odin's just a weird asshole that did that for no reason. Didn't really prove a point.
Dillian!
Very, very careful.
Dillian never much cared for the underworld, and looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Zinbel. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see, and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillian's arms,
She's not.
and to see the world through his eyes.
She's steady. She can
Slowly,
do it.
the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
Go to him. Go to him.
That's it.
Quicker.
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 Why did it go dark over there?
Be quick. Be quick.
Breathe. Just come to the water.
Senua, your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So someone is afraid of the dark. Should we fix them by taking away their sight? Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is this the price you pay for the gift you have? The gift that makes you so special in my eyes. Just another part of the person I love.
I left for the wilds to protect you from my darkness. Because I love you. But it made it worse. I'm so sorry.
Killing you would be too easy. They're taking your memories to torture you.
They're taking you from the inside.
You're disappearing one memory at a time. Every time you remember, it disappears.
They're going to take everything.
They're not yours anymore. They're going to take everything you have. The memories of ghosts. They belong to the gods, not to you. They're eating you from the inside. They want to kill your soul. They want to crush it. You think they want your body, they want your soul. They want your mind, and they're going to take it. The memories were yours, but they're the gods now. Nothing is yours anymore.
Is that genuinely true? Are her memories vanishing as a result of this? Is she losing them? That'd be really hard to illustrate, I suppose, so it's not really that clear. That seems to be the implication, and that bodes very poorly for her.